Okay, The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8, the last of this season, Chapter 16, The Rescue after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and Fett and Mando are in a bar starting this one out to gather together some old friends, the other Mandalorian activists, shall we say, who want to get the Dark Saber and know that Moff Gideon has it. And Mando has the information on just exactly where Moff Gideon is. So it's time for everybody to pile on to Boba Fett's ship and head toward the sector where Gideon is supposedly at. And sure enough, they do come upon his cruiser and come up with a plan on how they are going to take the cruiser. Of course, Mando only wants to be able to rescue the child and get away. But it's all very well set to where they have an old Imperial shuttle. They are going to fake a distress and have Fett fire at them. And so they make a crash landing in the hangar bay of the cruiser. Fett pops off into light speed, and we don't see him after that. Then there is the battle. We find out about the Dark Troopers. They have been refined to the point to where there are no people or clones or anything other than droids running them. And therefore they are even much more threatening, much more destructive, much more indestructible. The only thing that they seem to not be able to get through is the famed Beskar armor. It doesn't seem to be penetrable by much of anything, including the Dark Saber itself. So this is good for Mando, who has a lot of punishment taken on him at the hands of the Saber and also of the Dark Troopers. There's some indication at the beginning of the episode that even Boba Fett is a clone of his father rather than the son of his father. I've not heard this before. Perhaps you have. It may be something more that someone does a deep dive into the lore might find out. At any rate, we find out a little more detail about the Dark Saber, too, that it can only be won in battle. And with the Mandalorian having won it in a battle, he can't just give it away. This is creating a problem. He does not have the political ambition to rule Mandalore, and the people that do have a debt to owe him for helping them get as far as they have. So there is a setup for probably next season as to how this is going to work out. Now, the big spoiler in here, and if you haven't seen enough spoilers in the description or on the thumbnail, let me just say, don't watch here past this point if you don't want to hear the big twist. And the big twist is that finally the child's force transmissions were received by a Jedi who boards the ship, annihilates the army of Dark Troopers, is led onto the bridge, and reveals himself to be Luke Skywalker. He finds that the child will not leave Mando unless Mando releases him. Mando does so, and he motions that he wants his helmet off. And so for the third time in the series, in front of people, he has taken off his helmet. And this is a major thing here. So the child is handed over. Luke takes him. He basically says that without training, he would not be very useful, I guess. I'm not sure of the exact wording now that I think of it. But he goes off with Luke. This is a surprise. We were thinking that there would be some excuse for him to continue to be Mando's sidekick. And somehow I think that there may be something in next season that will tie this back together. There has been some stuff in the news, by the way, about Mando taking off his helmet, that it was something that Pedro Pascal negotiating for with the producers and making himself kind of a persona non grata on set. He has come out in public and said there was nothing to that story, that he stayed with the script, he stayed with what the producers wanted. So the times that he's taken off his helmet have not been of his own choosing, but the way the story has gone. And in fact, in the previous episode where he takes it off, there's some good acting there where he looks visibly uncomfortable to be uncovered, to not make eye contact with anyone. And this is a major thing for him. So once again, in doing this in front of his own people even is a major step, and all for the desires of the child. The only thing that I want to put onto this that I didn't much care for was the appearance of R2-D2. Simply fan service. Obviously, R2 travels with Luke in his X-Wing, but he usually does not enter into battle, and he certainly wasn't there as Luke was slaughtering all of the Dark Troopers. So suddenly to be there on the bridge in the last scene seems to be nonsensical, and the little exchange between the child and R2 also is all in the little coos and beep boop languages that don't mean anything to us, honestly. I think that was... there probably was no reason for that to even been there except for, oh, look, there's R2-D2. So it fades out, it runs the credits, and when most people would have tuned out, they might have missed the sneak scene in the end of it, where we go back to Tatooine, and one of the Hutts is sitting on his platform, and you hear in the background blaster fire where he is getting his guard shot up, and before long, walking into the throne room is Boba Fett, who then, after a brief exchange, shoots the Hutt and then takes his place. And then it fades to black and says, "The Book of Boba Fett, December 2021. So, one of the many new Star Wars-related series that are going to start on Disney Plus in the next year. So that's what we have on that. Hope you've enjoyed The Mandalorian. We've enjoyed talking about it with you. Please subscribe. We have more things that we do. We're still finishing up on Star Trek Discovery. We're going to cover the future Star Treks. If there is a space in between those things, we'll probably do something on the Clone Wars, which is an animated series, but we have not covered it before. If you've not seen it, we will go over it episode by episode. So if you find any interest in that, if we have some time to do it, that's where we would be going next. So until then, thank you very much for watching, and don't go far.